Haum, Medaki Api. Welcome to Ho-Choka here at the center of St. Joseph's Indian Schools campus. I'm your host, Scott Wooster, and we're glad to have you here for another episode today. And with me, I have my friend Amy Thomas, who works over in the food services here at St. Joe's, and we're glad to have you on the show.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
There's so much to unpack here because food and food service is such a big part of what happens here at St. Joe's. You know, we provide the residential, and we take care of the kids' needs while they're with us. So,
right.
And a big part of that is shelter and food, the two biggies.
That's
we do
right.
lots of other things, but if you don't have those two things, they're not getting what they need.
That's exactly
so
right.
I want tell us your title. Tell our audience
Okay.
what you
Well,
do.
I'm Cafeteria Manager here at St. Joe's, and my job entails, keeping track of not only the budget end of the food services in the cafeteria, but staffing issues and preparing nutritious, culturally relevant meals for kids every day, and also just making sure that we also have a grocery store, so we meet the needs of the homes. The house parents come and shop at our store, and we deliver to them in different instances. So we do a lot at food services.
There are so many things that you do over there. And there's a lot. I've been here 32 years, and there's a lot of things that I'm not even aware of that you're doing over there day to day.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that have changed in the 32 years that I've been here too. So let's unpack them. You have how many people working there for you?
We have 9 staff in food services, counting, myself and the staff on the side of the grocery store. And, we have a custodian, so we have 9 staff in total.
Okay. So any idea every day, how many kids are you feeding typically on a typical day?
The attendance fluctuates. Right now, we were at the end of the school year, we were at 139.
Okay.
At the beginning of the school year, we started at 150, 151. So it fluctuated over, as the year progressed. But, on a general basis, it's around 140, 150. I cook every day. I prepare for 220 to 250 people because we do feed the staff as well. So
staff can come in and eat in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
They pay a nominal fee and they can come in and do that.
Yeah.
You mentioned there's a grocery store behind that, which I think is, people might not think of how that would work, but on a campus like this, you have to feed the kids in the homes too.
Right.
So how does that look? What does the grocery store look like?
Well, it's one of our best kept secrets, I think, because people don't realize. But we do have our own grocery store that provides. It's set up. It's like I would say, I grew up in a little tiny town, and we had a little tiny grocery store very similar to what we have.
Yeah.
We carry all the basics that you can get. I mean, we don't have a variety of brands and things, but we have everything that they could need to support the kids in the home. And we have 3 staff that work in there, stock the shelves and things. We get deliveries 3 times a week. And then we make them available, at the cost to the homes.
Yep.
And sometimes the house parents like to come in and shop themselves.
Yep.
And then a lot of times they ask for deliveries. We have a big campus, and some of the homes are upstairs, many flights of stairs, and our staff, the house parents, they struggle sometimes to get up those stairs. So we have some strong, willing, and able staff that will carry those groceries up the stairs. So it works out pretty good for everybody. I think we try to make that available to the house parents because they work hard. It's a hard job that they do.
For sure.
So we want to support that.
And it takes a lot of groceries to feed a home full of kids for a few days.
It definitely does. 10 to 12 gallons of milk a week, and the homes will go through. We in the cafeteria, we go through about 1,800 gallons of milk a year. So it's a lot.
Yeah, the numbers are staggering of what you actually do over there. So is that something they have a choice to do then for deliveries to the homes?
Yep.
If I were a house parent, I could make that decision. I'd rather
absolutely.
have you
Yeah, you can put in an order, and first thing we have staff comes on at 6:00 in the morning, and they start pulling those orders, and they get them prepared, and then they go out and deliver them all day, whatever time of day that they get them ready, and they take them. Deliver them, put them away, put the groceries away for the house parents. It's a pretty nice setup for them, I think.
They set them up in the cupboards and in the refrigerator?
Well, not the cupboards, but the refrigerators. We had put the frozen and
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get all nosy and snoopy in their
Right,
homes.
exactly. You don't get too into
Yeah.
it. But I wasn't even aware of that all that was happening, because that's a big undertaking. That happens a lot. How do they order the food then?
We do it through our counterpoint system. Or
Yeah.
they just do it online.
Okay, so if you were a house parent who wanted to come into the grocery store, pick your stuff off the
Yep.
shelf, you could do that.
Yeah,
as well.
we have it's just like set up just like a grocery store. We have carts and everything. So yeah.
Yeah.
And they come to the counter and check out and bag up their groceries and head on down the road.
Okay. The term food scarcity comes to mind, and we're in a really tricky time right now where everybody is struggling with the price of groceries, with the price of food, inflation, all those types of things, and it affects everybody. I would suggest that it affects the families with whom we work
Absolutely.
even more, because they're coming from remote areas.
Yeah,
They're coming
they call
from
it a food desert is what they call
Yeah.
reservations. So yeah.
That's interesting. And I'm going to take that a step further, because you mentioned something off air in that I don't know if our audience knows this. You're a tribal member
I am.
yourself
Yep.
from
Cheyenne River.
Eagle Butte.
Yep,
Is
I'm
that where
born
you
and
grew up?
raised in Eagle Butte. Yep.
Okay. And so Minikoju is your tribe.
it
and
is.
so I didn't know that until I ran into your husband this
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
My wife had mentioned Sisseton, but I think there was another connection. But so you grew up in Eagle Butte. When you're talking about the grocery store up there, is that Lakota Thrifty Mart or something like that?
LTM. Yep. That's actually now. I mean, gosh, it's old now, but when I used to be the accountant at the grocery store when I was young, and
Okay.
it was new and it was big and it was beautiful. It was, now of course everything ages, and
Yeah.
but they built a new store back then. That was in the mid '90s, and it was big and beautiful. It was far cry from what we had before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had two grocery stores when I was growing up, and one was. It was LTM. It was called something different than Super Value, but there was another one, and it was even smaller. But they were just small, and they just gave you what you needed. That wasn't anything fancy.
Right.
And you had to pay the prices that they gave you. You had no choice.
Yep.
You couldn't just run to Walmart
Yeah.
or anything like that.
There's no competition. There's no other
yeah,
option of
yeah.
where you can buy it. And so I think that speaks to the idea of a food desert.
Absolutely.
And you were aware of that as when you were young too, or is
Well,
that something
I don't think that was something you're aware of.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, we were just, fortunately for me, we were well taken care of. We had a great family, good family support system for me. So you just didn't know those things. It was just the way things were.
Yep.
You didn't really, until
Yeah.
I left the reservation, I had an eye-awakening moments
Yeah.
over and over.
Yeah.
I knew 5 foods
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah.
So, for many years when I would go to the restaurants, I'd order the same thing because I wasn't familiar with things.
Right.
Which is one thing that I really have tried to incorporate at the dining hall now that I've become the manager in the last 2 years is I try to introduce these foods kind of like things you would maybe even see at I like to say like a church potluck, because I never knew what those things were.
Right.
And I had no familiarity with them. So I'm trying to kind of incorporate a little bit of that into, our salad bars and things once a week, because I feel for those kids. We had meatloaf, spaghetti, you know what I mean? It's just all the same things over and over again because that's all we could afford.
Right. Right. And they do eat well here. That's one thing, St. Joe's,
Yeah.
whether you're staff or kids, you eat well.
Yeah.
We make sure of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it isn't just, it's kind of whatever your house parents want to cook and whatever
Yeah.
they bring to the table. We've had people that come from different ethnicities that
Yeah.
introduce those kinds of foods.
Different cultures. We have
Different
a
cultures.
couple guys from down south that are amazing cooks.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
everybody brags about on campus. They know that when they're grilling, you're going over there.
Yeah, you pay attention to
Yeah,
that as
you
you
do.
see people come through there. I'm sure
Yeah,
you see
it's
that all
nice.
the time.
It's nice. I like that. I like them making the kids aware of things like that are outside their
Yep.
cultural awareness or their familiarity. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just think it's important.
I know exactly what you mean. Because we have food deserts, one thing that we've done here in recent years, and I'm involved with it to a certain extent because I'm a family service counselor and have a lot of interface with the families. But we have families that will ask for food boxes, and we have a food box program that we run at different times of the years. And I think we kind of started this back in around COVID
Yep,
time
yep.
in order to meet the needs. You know, we didn't have kids here. We knew that people were struggling back on the reservation, so we started to deliver some of that, and it's become a big deal. I would say it's been a big deal for a while, but it's become a bigger deal with the prices of everything going up recently.
Absolutely.
And so, what is that? Tell me what that looks like.
So, like you said, the family counselors will get a hold of us at the food services and tell us sometimes a family needs to come in. They're coming to town. Maybe they're checking their children out for the weekend or whatever, and they just want access to the food boxes, the availability. We'll put them together for them, and we keep bulk items on stock at all times, and our staff will throw them together. They'll end up walking out with 2 full boxes, and it's enough to, it's nothing fancy, but it's
Right.
staples. It's the
Yes.
staples that can get them a few meals for the next couple weeks.
Yep.
It ain't going to fill all the needs,
Right.
but it'll make things a little easier for them.
sure.
And so that's available when they need it. They just call, alumni or somebody, and they arrange it.
Yeah.
Now during the summer, we'll have 2 different opportunities where our staff we're actually in the process. Tomorrow we get our big delivery in the dining hall. We've kind of set up the infrastructure for that right now, and we will start building boxes. And twice during the summer we will deliver to every student that had requested it. The families will deliver them twice during this summer, and I really appreciate that for those people. It's a good program.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
It is
It makes
helpful.
we want them to know that they're not forgotten about. We're still thinking about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I remember I had questions when it started. I thought, are we providing a service here? What will parents think of that when we pull up in our vans at all the different reservations across the state? Will it be, I had questions about whether it would be insulting,
Yeah.
here we are, we're providing this food. And all I've gotten with it is that it's well received, that it's we get good feedback on it, and we have people asking for
That's good. Yeah, we do have a lot of people that ask for it, and I guess from your point of view, I would have never even thought about it because I'm on the other end of it. I'm
Yeah.
on the providing end of it. I don't even
Exactly.
think about the other thing. Yeah.
Yep, I was wrong. You'll never hear me say that again.
Yeah,
But
it's in these day and times, it's hard to, it's expensive to be
Yes.
prideful. I mean,
Yeah,
just
truly.
honestly, where the rubber meets the road, you're going to do what you can to make a better life for your kids. And if you got
Absolutely.
people in your corner, you're lucky.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
Lucky. Yeah.
And I would say that our staff has jumped behind that completely too. We have, when I send a message to, when a family calls me and I send a message over to Peyton, who's the gal that I interface
Yep.
with over in the dining hall, she has been so good about it.
She's
There's a
good.
box ready there whenever we need it. She does it with a smile,
Yep.
and I think the families are feeling like they're getting the best of what St.
Yeah.
Joe's has to offer.
Customer service is important.
Yeah.
I think you always want people to feel like they matter.
Yeah.
It's important to, if you can't do anything else, make somebody feel like they matter. So,
Exactly.
And they do, they really do. That's one thing I can honestly say about the food service staff is we have a lot of people that are really invested in the mission of St. Joe's.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just there for a job. They're there because they mean it. And
Yep.
I'm lucky. I
Yeah.
get to work with them. I get to learn from them and grow with them and help these ideas that I have evolve
Mm-hmm.
in front of, just in real time. And it's important. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade them.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't ask.
Yeah, I would have no pull over
Yeah,
that either
yeah,
way.
I
But
do
you've
appreciate
got
it.
you've got folks over there who don't want to just serve food. They
Right.
want to interface with the kids
Yeah,
when they come in.
they pay attention my husband had a grandma. She's passed away now, but man, that woman, she'd meet you twice, and she knew all your favorite meals. And if you show
Yeah.
up at Thanksgiving, I guarantee a couple of them are going to be on her table.
Yeah.
That's just how she was, and I wanted to be like her. She just impressed that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the way the staff is at the kitchen.
Yeah.
The dining hall. They know these kids,
Yeah.
and they. You'll see them going over there and peeking in the trash to see what they threw away. Well, let's not serve that again,
You're right.
And I mean, those things matter. You want to be a good steward of the funds that we have, the budget, and not waste things. But you want to introduce new things. So it's a balance, and we have great staff that supports that.
Yeah, they're maybe the lunch ladies and guys when I was a kid were doing the same thing, paying
Yeah.
attention to what I was eating and what I wasn't.
Yeah.
But I never felt like I think I guess what I'm trying to say is you're turning the idea of a stodgy old lunch lady
Yeah.
that I would have grown up, with that impression of somebody.
Yeah.
You're turning it on its head, and you're really part of the mission and trying to
Yeah.
be a part of what we're doing here.
I want to be. I have a servant's heart, and I put it to good work.
Yeah.
I found a place for myself. It's a good niche for me.
Yeah.
And we have intentionally kind of changed our lineup in the dining hall since I've been there. We serve about 80 to 85% from scratch meals.
Okay.
It's more financially feasible, honestly, but it's better
Okay.
for native children. That highly processed food, it's terrible. It
Yeah.
just makes me cringe.
Right.
And they love it. You gotta have those chicken nuggets every once in
Right.
a while. But if you don't have to, and we have the staff, there's 94% of respondents to the School Nutrition Association put out this survey about, because the government they've put out a bill to change food, with the new mandates for the USDA for nutrition guidelines. They want schools to go to more scratch cooking.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
94% of the respondents can't handle it. They don't have the infrastructure. They
Right.
don't have the equipment, and they definitely don't have the trained staff.
Yeah.
And fortunately for us, we do. And also fortunately for us, we've already been doing that because we
Yeah.
do have those things.
Yep.
It wasn't something anybody told us to do.
Yeah.
We just are aware. And, being from the reservation, I know. And I went to college. When I went to college, I went for sports nutrition, and I learned all about those bad carbs and, and the, low-fat milk. I wouldn't touch that at my house. I would never
Right.
feed my kids skim milk. They're native kids,
Yeah.
and so we don't have to do those things because we're aware of that. We stay relevant before somebody tells us to.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
freedom that we have being a private school.
Yeah.
We go above and beyond because we want these kids to be well nourished, because it makes them better in the classroom. It makes their emotion regulation. It helps with that. It helps with their energy levels and their learning capabilities. It just helps overall. So anything that we can do to be a part of that, I want to be a part of that. You know?
Yeah.
So-
And you are a part of it, which
Yeah.
is great. We're pretty much out of time. It goes fast when you're
Yeah.
talking about something that you really are passionate about. Is there anything else that you want to mention before we leave our audience here?
I guess I pretty much covered it all. I think that I do once again want to shout out to the staff at Food Services, because we are hardworking people and we do have a love for the kids and the mission of St. Joe's. And I think it's important that people are aware of that. It's not just the people you see every day or, the faces of St. Joe's that you see, but everybody kind of does their support part, and I'm glad to be a part of that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And food can make a home or break a home.
Absolutely.
And having that for breakfast, lunch, dinner, through what you guys do over there is such a big part of what we do on campus. So, thank you for what you do.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad you guys reached out. It was good to.
Absolutely. People need to know about this, and I need to know about it too. So
All right, thank
that
you.
we'll share it with our audience for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thanks to our audience for joining us here at Hochoka at the center of St. Joseph's Indian Schools campus, where we talk about issues central to Native American today. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, stay centered.